Ladies and gents, we are back for round 15, going through your teams, just really the strategy video of the week, so you can see how my mind works, obviously not just with my own team, but with your teams as well in the moment. So we have all of the information that we need, with Brown unfortunately being stood down. I hope for all parties that goes really well. But it sounds like that, the NRL has come down with the no stand policy, so he's gone likely until his court date. So he is a trade out. That's all we need to know for Fantasy and Supercoach here. So looking at this squad here, I said we can make all the decisions possible now. So, hey Jay, we need some help with trades this week. 14 trades and 10 currently playing in round 16. Need a fullback, a center, and a mid. Thank you for that. 14 trades is great, man, and you're ranked at 568. So you're in an incredible position. I know a lot of people with 8 or less. So I really think it's a good one to make sure your team's really in a good position this week. Granville, Weeks, DeBellin, Cleary out. So that leaves you with 17 playing, which is great news. So at worst, probably a trade or two is all you're going to need. Think of either 2 or 3 trades, Cleary plus Weeks, or 3 Cleary, Weeks, JDB, but don't know who to trade to. Considering you're in a good position this week, I think DeBellin is a clear hold, so Cleary and Weeks is amazing. You could go Granville as well, but I understand that he's going to be playing in 16. KO Weeks will play in 16 as well. So you do have him as a wing fullback if you need him to play next week. It's likely that he will go back to that fullback position or at least be on the bench or something like that. So something to think about is bringing in Hines away since he doesn't play many games with Origin plus buys. Well, considering you said you don't need a half with Moses and Oluwapu, then Hines is definitely a good go for you. He does miss 16-17, which is frustrating. Most likely, obviously, unless Moses comes in and takes that spot, and Hines misses out, definitely misses out, I should say. But you got a captaincy option of Moses. You've got Hopgoods, the Haases, the Grants, all these guys that probably not Grant, but Haas, Hopgood, Moses, Johnson, all really good options as captaincy. So you don't need Hines this week, and I personally, if I didn't have him, I would not bring him in. So take that as you will. I could go Ponga or Marzu plus Fainu or Ramian, but leaves me with so much cash in the bank. Look, with Cleary being gone, there's people are going to be worried about having 3, 4, 500 in the bank. Me personally, I'm going to have a lot in the bank after the trades that I'm going to make this week. So I don't think it's a massive issue for your squad. It just means that in the next couple of weeks, you'll be able to upgrade one of your super cheap guys like a Granville post round 16. Maybe by round 17 you're done with Oluwapu, you're happy with what he's done for you, made you 100 or so thousand, and you're ready to go up to a gun. All those types of things will come into play. So don't stress about the money in the bank. If you're happy with the trades of bringing in the slightly cheaper guys, then that's fine. But obviously, Ponga and Ramian, or Marzu and Ramian, or whatever you decide to do in that one, if that's going to net you more points this week, and they're obviously going to make some money as well, then even better. You want to make sure you're focusing on the points, but yes, a little bit on the cash generation as well. Remember, you could bring in Fainu next week. You could bring in, if Maddo is back, he could be a guy that you use that cash to bring him in as a mid. They're all the things you do need to think about. Already have 2 edge for round 16, so Bateman seems like a wasted trade. Especially having Preston, for sure. Well, Hopgood will go into the mids. You got Trent Leora as well. So I feel like it would be a waste unless you were looking to trade one of Trent or Preston next week. Trent would be the one that I personally would look to potentially move. Obviously missing round 19 there. That's something. But just be obviously aware having 2 edges is good. But round 17 you'll miss Preston, so you'll need another edge for that. So maybe you just do the loop next week. You cop the issue that you'll face. Actually, you won't be able to loop, would you? No, because you won't have an extra edge. You just cop that next week, but then round 17 you do have 2 edges and you have to trade that week. So that's something to think about as well. Doesn't seem like there is many mid, wing fullback or centre keepers to go to this week. Well, guys like Greg Marzu, I think Callum Ponga, both terrific gun guys keepers that you could bring in for sure. Mid is terrible. Centre, guys like Ramian are going to do a job for you for sure. You got Manu and Lemuela. You don't really need another keeper centre, but a guy that could score well and make money over this period could work well for sure. So thank you, FC Supremas. You are in a really good position there. So you could definitely have enough trades to sell DeBellin and bring him back, but I just don't feel like that's really important. You're going to miss him next week anyway, so this week here you will have sort of 18 players by the time you make some trades. 19 maybe. Actually, yeah, up to Cleary and Weeks, you can have 19 players, so you can loop a couple of guys or at least one guy, and get through this week fine. And then next week you wouldn't have had him anyway. Not an issue at all. All right, let's go to this one here. So it's obviously a lot going on. So big thanks to sending this one in. Really appreciate that. You'll probably miss out on seeing 19 and 20 numbers. I'll explain that to you there. But this squad is ranked 4797, has 7 trades remaining. So that is a slight worry for now. Has his overall rank history at the bottom there. Big thanks to Jamie. You've helped me fly up those rankings in the last few weeks. I was around 29,000 in round 7. Oh, that's a massive turnaround. Well done. In the top 5k after that. So well done, Tubbsy Maloney. Okay, so round 15 to round 20 buy availability if I send it. I don't want you to send it right now. So Cleary and Brown are must-goes, which leaves me in a tough spot as I'd much preferred to capitalise on some of the top guns, bottoming out like Bateman. I wanted to bring in Bateman a couple of weeks ago, but went with Clem with round 16, 19 in mind. Damn it. Oh, well, he's scoring fine enough, right? But not ideal. All right, so what do we got? Play it safe. Cleary to Johnson, Brown to Moses. Do you need an extra couple of halves when you have Nikorima and Oluwapu? I don't like that, to be honest with you. As an option, leaves you 190k and only one short going into round 16. Send it. Cleary, Johnson, Brown, Moses, Preston to Bateman, yuck. Granville to Adam Elliott, yuck. No, don't do it. I think go with the 2 trades, Cleary and Brown. It's very simple for you. Leaves you with 5 left, but you don't go for 2 halves, I don't think, personally. I think you go for 1 half. Whichever one you need. Obviously, if you need the half for next week, which you will need 1, I would go for Moses, and then I would bring in a player from another position that you need. So you're sitting with, I think mids is going to be covered. Is that right? Hopgood. Yeah. Edge is covered. What's fine? What are you missing out on? Center? Yeah, center. Okay. Yeah, so maybe just bring in another center and leave cash in the bank and upgrade next week is the way I probably would go. Hear me on this. Top 2 are needs, must. However, Preston is at peak. Bateman is at his bottom. So Bateman is not at his bottom. He's priced at over 50. Training Ellie's a little pot as he averaged 52 when playing 60 plus minutes. It's lock forward, yes, but he's also coming back from injury and not playing very well right now. So I would not, there's going to be injuries, going to be suspension, so don't do it. I think you're being stupid. Sorry. Something of the like of what I was saying here. Get 1 half and then one position, another guy in another position that you would be looking at. If you want to get Bateman, then that's fine, and then you decide who you want to trade out next week. If one of them gets suspended or injured, you have that position. So there's a lot that could happen there. And thank you for sending the position that you've got there. Yep, I could have just looked up top where the center is free. So thank you for that one. Okay, NRL likes to send me a DM. Thank you for jumping into this one. Want to get rid of Smith, Cleary, Totola, and Garrick. Garrick you don't want to get rid of. Smith, Billy Smith, what a man. Cleary, okay, so trades out of that this week. I think Totola's a hold this week, to be honest with you. Cleary's the clear one to go. And then you've got... you got Totola. It's good to have Jeremy Marshall-King back, that's for sure. Yeah, that's about it. What's you got? Want to get Bird or Edge? Okay, Edge. Yeah, for Fafita could go, to be honest with you. Unless you're happy to hold. What do we got? Hines, Ponga, mid around 600k or below. Obviously, Fisher Harris is that guy. Fainu is that guy. Possible trade this week. Smith, Cleary to Ponga and mid. Cleary to Hines. Garrick, Cleary, Ponga and Yo. Nah, don't do that. Most likely option, Cleary, Smith to mid and Ponga. Yes, if you don't need a center. You're going to play Talau or something there next week. Yeah, something to think about. And then round 17, Totola. We can go round 16 for Totola. To Bird on edge. Round 18, Garrick to Hines. You're really not happy with Garrick, are you? He came out and got 39 last game and obviously had a bye. So I think you're a little bit jaded because the week before that he killed it and almost got 60. So Tommy's here this week. He's in the centers. It's not great, but I still think he can score pretty well coming into this week. So yeah, that's where I'd be at there. Just really going Cleary and you could look at Totola if you want to, but I still think he's got one more good price rise in him. I think probably Cleary and Fafita, depending on how many trades you got. If you're low on trades, then maybe avoid trading Fafita. And if you've got a lot of trades, then he's fine. He's probably a good one to trade in this week. So thank you for sending that one through. All right, we've got a lovely fellow, Dan, that sent me this, and appreciate your love. And he's like, I've been following you for a while. It wasn't a great year last year, and much better this year. Completely agree. All right, round 15. He's got 15 all the way to 27, so that's very, very impressive. Got his colours there for buys. Round 15, he's got DeBellin, Cleary out. And then that is all, which is good. So number of trades, 6. No, he's making 2 trades with 6 left. Is that right? Oh, yep. Then he gets his extra 8 there. So, okay, pretty low on that front. So only missing those 2, I think, is good news. Round 16, got plenty of players. So well done. Harris, Horsburgh, the outs. And then everyone else is in. So that's good. Means you can make the odd trade or 2 if you need to. Sounds like you're making no trades that week. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looked like you really set up well, Dan. I just wanted to put this up there and show how much effort some people go into, and I really appreciate how much people love NRL Fantasy. It is great. It's such a great game, and especially if you haven't got much to do on the weekend, or if all your friends are out or whatever, it's great to just sit there and just chuck the TV on, watch your 3 games of footy, and really enjoy it. So, big shout out to all you guys that love NRL Fantasy and love watching my channel. Thank you very much. Let's go to Revillo's Raptors. 1968 is the overall rank. Has used 3 trades this week to get down to 7. Exactly where I'm at in going to be using the 3 trades. Bit of a shocker last week with JDB, Chin, Lukey, but only lost 100 ranks in the end. We'll take that for sure. Lukey ended up right though, 39 for his price. Like it looked bad, obviously with the minutes that he played, but yeah. Trades: Chin to Moses, Cheese to Fainu, and Talau to KP, although tempted to keep Talau and flick Carl as he doesn't really have much of a ceiling, and Talau is good cover even though he's usually good for a 15. Oluwapu is going to score way better than Talau, so I'd be selling Talau first every day of the week. So that's that. He's good cover even though he's usually good for a 15, and Carl wouldn't make the round 16-19 team where Talau probably would. Is that because you have a secondary half? Who's your other half that you're going to play in 16? I think you need Oluwapu, to be honest with you. Tanner Boyd's out, so I think you're going to need him in 16, bro. Unless you're trading someone in this week. Let's hold Chin a week because not convinced Hines play Origin again, and he must have FL. I think most likely Hines does play Origin. So currently sitting with 11 for 16 and 10 for 19 with Lukey to trade before 19-2. Sitting pretty good, man. I'm happy with where you're at. I'd be holding JDB, the Cleary trade, great. All the others, you bring in Ponga. I think that's a big upgrade. You got Edwards in there, Preston, Hopgood. Hopgood will move up. If you got an edge for next week, you got Lukey for next week. Got Fainu to come in. Pretty good, man. Happy with the trades. I wouldn't be convinced that Hines doesn't make Origin, that's for sure. 2 to go now, just pretty quick today. Mr. Henderson, 8 trades remaining, 166 in the bank, 6,400 overall. Hi, Jamie, following your video since the start of the year and have made significant progress thanks to you. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're listening, and that's all it is. You take the information in, you apply it, and you do well. Going to go even better next year, that's for sure. Like some advice on what to do next. Do I go Brown to Bateman, Cleary to Moses? Yes. Lukey / Couchman / Katoa, either Fainu, Turpin, or a gun like Cook. Okay, so you've got Robson for next week, so there's that to think about. If you were to get a hooker right now, then it has to be Turpin, I think. The point scoring that he can get somewhere in the 40s and the money making potential, I really want him in my side, but I'm going to find it very difficult to be able to get him in. Would really appreciate your help. Thanks again and good luck. Okay, let's just have a look at the squad. So Katoa, I think, is someone that you can trade. Murdoch Masila is someone also that you can trade, but probably can hold this week as he's going to be a number. Couchman, I would be moving on very quickly if you can, just because he's not going to be around. Round 16, he's irrelevant. So there are a couple of the guys I'd be looking at. If you go Cleary out to Moses, that leaves you a fair bit of cash in the bank. Brown to Bateman leaves you a little bit more cash in the bank. Awesome. Okay, you do those 2 trades, and that leaves you with a strong position from there. You got Lemuelu, you can drop down to center eventually as well, which is exactly what you want. So I really think you need an edge, and the Hopgood will come back in for DeBellin, which is awesome. Bateman will come in and cover that. You then have enough cash in the bank to go Couchman to whoever you want. So you can make the decision. You can go Couchman, you can go Katoa if you want to use him as a looper this week. I don't think you really need to with the position you're in. Trading Brown and Cleary already leaves you with only 1 red dot. Murdoch Masila and Katoa you could loop, which will be fine. But you could use that extra cash to upgrade if you want. You could get a Fainu if you like. Turpin could be cool, but he doesn't play next week for you because you have Robson. So a few things to think about with that squad. potentially if you, it looks like you do need another mid, which will leave you with 2 for next week. So that might be the play, Hopgood and Fainu in there, and that leaves you with plenty of cash next week. But that does put you down to 5 trades remaining. So 2 trades or 3 trades, it works really well. Fainu that it could just go into the mids and do a job for you. Not super convinced he gets more than a couple of weeks, but he's going to do a job anyway. A great man that sends his team in every week. Congrats on making well into the top 100. Last week he said congrats on making the top 100. If you do want your team looked at, guys, send it in the team analysis section on Discord and I will get around to it for you. 12 trades remaining for this squad. With JDB being arguably the best middle in the game right now, is he worth holding on to? I definitely think so. Keep him in your squad. Thinking of buying Bateman after some really good scores and the prospect of playing through the middle. Yeah, I did really like that. That's probably the big in for me. Glad I told people to buy him last week, but didn't do it myself. If I get Bateman and Lukey becomes an extra next week, does this mean he's a sell? Sell or hold is fine. Remember, Bateman could get suspended. Trent Leora could get suspended or injured this week, and then you would miss out on a player in the edge in round 16, or you'd have to trade. So if you want to, you can sell. If you are happy to hold him, then that's good too. So I'm in the camp of either way. With 5 possible sells in my side right now, is it worth using 4 trades this week or settle with 3? 3 or 4 is fine for you just because you have 12 remaining. So you'd be left with 8 if you did the 4, and that would be fine. Are these 3 trades good? Cleary to Hopgood, yes. Host to Bateman, yes. Bird to 700k, round 16 mid. Bird is the word. Could play this week. More likely to play in round 17. So if you'd be happy to hold him for the next few weeks, then that is fine. If you want to sell him, the mid section is pretty bad. Madison's the only one that is coming back and potentially next week that could do a great job for you. He could also be missing from that team. So, yeah, I think Fainu's obviously the guy to slot in, but who would you trade out? Would you trade out Lukey? Do you go Bird and have that much cash in the bank? I definitely think the 3 could work well. It then gives you a looper this week with Drinky out. You got Cook. You got Turpin already, which is good. Covers next week. Yeah, there's a lot going well in your side, so very, very good. Do you think James Fitzharris is the best round 16 middle? I should take a punt on Cam McInnes. Cam McInnes being back is fun, but he again doesn't have won't have any cash to make. So I think Fisher Harris is kind of near the bottom, so he could definitely bounce back. I'm not going to push anyone to buy him just because he hasn't been playing that great. And Clemmer is the other one around that price that hasn't been doing super well. Well, he's a lot more expensive, but just hasn't been doing well enough to warrant selection. So there's no one in there that's really exciting. Obviously, Fainu's probably going to make money over the next few weeks, but he's not a slam dunk either. But yeah, that's really where we're at. It's a lot of these calls are 50-50 this week. You're hoping that guys get picked in their sides in round 16. So that's where we're at. I wish you all the best luck, guys. The trades video will come out later, as well as my update on how day 1 of the cricket went, which was amazing. Can't wait to talk about that with you guys. See you later.